Welcome to Decoded Stories with the Nord Code, where I sit down with tech professionals, creatives, and innovators to decode their stories behind their journeys. Like the ones you never get a chance to hear of. I am your host, Nyamiche Honor. I got Miss Tranequa in the building.
Woo!
Do
Period.
y'all know how excited I am right now? Like I got the miss. That's crazy. How you feeling? How you feeling,
I'm
sis?
feeling great. I'm feeling grateful. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the secret ingredient to my life. The life that I've been able to create is
Yeah,
gratitude. So I just been leaning into that, and I'm just
yeah,
grateful. I'm healthy. I'm
yeah,
here. You
yeah.
know, no complaints.
That's dope. Hey, you just celebrated a birthday, right?
I did. I
Happy
did.
birthday to you.
Hey,
Happy birthday to you. Now I
hey.
gotta finish the song now, so y'all bear with me. Happy birthday, dear Triniqua.
Woo!
Happy birthday to you.
Thank
That's off
you.
key. Oh
Thank
goodness.
you. Thank you. I
How
appreciate it.
how was how was the birthday?
It was amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing. But again, leading into that gratitude, because usually I take a trip every year, but because of everything else going on, it's kind of scary, right? But I was kind
Mm,
of sad about that. Then my husband
mm.
was like, basically gave me a dose of reality. Like, look at all these things you have here,
Yeah.
right? Look at all
Yeah.
the beautiful things you have here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a complete mindset shift. So this was probably like the best birthday I've ever had.
Yeah. That's dope. Did you do anything? I know you didn't travel, but did you
Yeah,
do
no,
anything like
I was
special
home.
at home, anything like that at all?
Yeah, so I realized I turned 34 and I realized I was 34 trying to plan my day. I packed so much things and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm tired,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
had brunch in the morning with my friend, then I had a massage and a facial,
Let's go.
and then I went to the movies, and then I went to dinner. But I don't know how I did that. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
maybe I need to take it slow. I definitely needed a nap. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. It was great. It was
Nah, that's
amazing.
dope. That's dope. Do you have what is like the best like birthday plan? Like if you had like the ideal best birthday activity
I
plan, like
love to travel. Like I love to travel.
yeah.
Because I feel like I discover pieces of myself every time I travel and I come back with something. Always my intention when I travel. I want to have a spiritual encounter. I want to be transformed and I want to be involved in a culture, so I could take those little tidbits and add them to my life and, apply them. So that's really my goal. I love to eat. I love aesthetics.
There we go. That eat part. That eat part.
Yes. Okay. All those things.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. No, I
feeling
love
good,
it.
looking good, eating good,
Yeah, yeah,
and being somewhere pretty.
yeah, yeah. Now you have like a workout routine, don't you? Or you were dancing at one point,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. So I danced my whole life. I used to
okay,
be a professional dancer before, like I had my son. I lived in LA. That
okay,
was really cool.
yeah,
And then so I started dancing again as a hobby because that's the one thing my husband always defines a passion as something you will be willing to pay for or willing to pay to do,
yeah,
not to get paid to do.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So in dances, that's my thing. It really transforms my energy if I'm down. Whatever I need, like dance is that happy place for me. So
yeah, yeah.
I dance for my mental health, but I also can't help it. It's involuntary.
No, I love it. Listen, so my wife is a dancer as well, so I'm sure once y'all link up, it's gonna be a whole, whatever
Yeah.
y'all be doing. But listen though, I don't dance.
My husband don't either. But
Okay,
dance
I
is
bet.
just
Cool. We
movement,
good. We
right?
good. We good. And my wife is like, yo, so how are you a drummer? So I'm into music. So how are you a drummer? You have rhythm, but you can't dance. And I'm
Because
like,
rhythm is just movement. Dance is something choreographed to a certain beat.
yeah, yeah,
Some people may not have the capacity to do that, but they can make music. You know what I mean? Like I can't hear music. Like certain things, I can't hear drums or during beats,
yeah.
and my husband can. You know what I mean? He's like, "Oh, you hear that?" No, no, I did not. I did not hear that.
I'm
But
crying.
so it's
Not,
just everyone interprets music differently.
yeah, that's the, at least you get me. Baby, you
Yeah,
didn't hear this, Jennifer? You understand this,
yeah,
Jennifer? At least she gets me. You know what I mean? Nah, shout out to Bay. Hey,
yeah.
so
Shout out to her.
you just got married too, right?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in June.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy. That's a crazy story.
Yeah?
Not me getting married, but just finding him.
Mm,
Uh, Well, I have two children. My children, when I was learning how to code, that's how we even got here. I had just graduated my boot camp. I was online. I found Jennifer. Like I said, I saw her portfolio online. Someone had commented on something, and I was like, oh my God, this is so dope. And one thing about me, I love to empower our people. So I just reached out to her, let her know how dope it was, and then we just connected from there. But during that time, my life was completely different. Like, I was poor. I had just left a toxic, abusive relationship with my kid's father. And I was like just in Kentucky on 33 acres of land by myself, just me and my kids.
Wow.
And my kids were like 1 and 3 at the time. And so I got an opportunity toward the tail end of my relationship. I got an opportunity to learn how to code for free. This guy was like, hey, I'm teaching people how to code. I want to create an online platform. Are you interested? Heck yes. I'm poor. And my previous career, I was a fashion stylist. I'm in Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like, who am I styling? You know what I mean? There's nothing to do. And then that's before I had kids, right? Like, money was different. Now I have 2 children, 2 mouths to feed. That I can't afford to just do that. Much less I can't even do that because I'm in the woods,
Yeah.
So I got an opportunity to learn how to code. It was like a self-taught type of, not self-taught type of thing. I had a mentor and he was guiding me.
Yeah.
And he had these other classmates and I was outperforming their asses. Like when I say, cause I was so hungry. Like once I realized how much money you can make in tech, I said, oh, that's it for me. Like I stopped everything I was doing. I was like, I need this. So I was like literally breastfeeding my daughter on vacation, doing my homework, like killing it. And then it got to a point where he couldn't teach me anymore because you can only do things for free for so long, right? So that's when he transitioned me to Lambda School, which is now what, Bloom Tech. I don't even know. Can't keep up, right? Shout out to y'all though. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out. We're gonna get more into Bloom Tech, by the way.
Yes. So I took the 6-month boot camp, and mind you, I didn't have childcare. It was just me and the kids, and you know how intense full time that program was. Like it requires all of you, mentally, physically, like you know what I mean? So but I was focused, I was intentional, I was serious. So it took me about 4 months to get hired at Southwest. I didn't care where I got hired at. I just needed to get the heck out of Kentucky, and I needed money. And so I was my best friend lives out here, so I was just out here in Atlanta visiting her, and that's when I got the call that I was hired at Southwest. And I was kind of thinking about already moving to Atlanta, but I wasn't sure. But that confirmed it. So I moved to Atlanta, and for some reason, I had Cobb County in my spirit, like moved to Cobb County. I talked to this one woman, side story, and she mentioned Cobb County, and I was like, okay, cool. So I called the apartments. Mind you, I thought I already found my apartment, but I was waiting for it to be available. It wasn't available for the next week. But in that time frame, during that week, I came back to Atlanta and I found my actual apartment that I moved into, right? But I saw that it was available, so I called to see if I could schedule a tour, and the lady's name was Destiny. I said, "Oh, I'm moving here. Like,
let's go.
Your name is Destiny? Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
So, literally a week later, I was in Atlanta. And like before I even had an offer letter, like I kind of had an offer letter, but it wasn't official. It was just like, you're hired. I don't even think it had the pay. I took that thing and I was like, we're leaving. We're getting an apartment. That's all I was waiting for. I've been saving. I've been, you know what I mean? Being obedient, getting my ducks in a row. And I moved to this apartment. I'm super stoked. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited. This is my first time on my own with my kids. I'm just like, I'm an engineer. Like I did that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I created a whole new life for myself.
Yeah.
And then, but I was lonely in Kentucky, right? So like I said, I was on 33 acres of land, nobody. So I'm all about community. So the apartment complex, I'm the type of person now knock on your, or put letters on your door to say, hey, I'm here. You want to be friends? Like,
I love it.
That's me.
I love it.
And eventually, I got an email from the apartment saying, hey, we're having a game night for the residents. So I'm like, bad. I don't even got to be a creep. Bad.
We in there.
He's in there. And I meet Brian at the game night.
Wow.
Yeah. And it would be romantic to say like, oh, it was none of that. He asked me to help him play spades, and I was like, nah.
Hey, listen, that is not love at first sight. Or whatever that romantic.
I was like, nah. I wanted to mingle. I didn't want to get stuck in the game. But we exchanged info. I got everyone's Instagram, and then we just started taking walks.
Yeah, yeah.
I just love that, and I appreciated that he understood what it took for me to get to where I'm at. Right? You know how you're around people and they see your journey, but when you make it there, the energy is lackluster.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, okay, cool. Blood, sweat, and tears. You see me. You talk about cool. I need a little more. Give me more.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah.
And one thing about Brian, he understood that off top, and that was really attractive to me because I was like, okay, you respect the boss in me. You know?
Let's go. Let's go.
So, and then ever since then, I've elevated, like literally, exponentially.
Wow.
So if you just tune in and now, you will be like, oh my God, your life is so great. It is.
Wow.
But do you understand the roots that I had? You see, y'all are seeing the fruits. Do you understand the roots that I had?
Listen, this is not Sunday. You can't be preaching like this.
Listen, it's gonna be a word every day.
Let's go. Yo,
But
this is dope.
Yeah, so that's how we got here. So
Yeah.
shout out to my husband. Absolutely.
Hey, shout out Brian. Shout out Brian.
Yeah.
Yo, it's dope because I've seen a glimpse of, let me say, before you made it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Let me say, is that the correct term?
Absolutely.
Okay. And man, my wife, like I said, I was telling you this off camera. Like my wife and I have been rooting for you since like the day we saw you. Like just your energy, yo, your transparency, like you're unapologetic.
Yes.
Like you just like, and you're real. A lot of people now are like watered down. A lot of people are yes men.
Yes.
And for you, you're like yes or no. There's no maybe. You know what I mean? Your yes is your yes, your no is your no. And it's just dope to see a black woman, a mother, like freaking killing it, yo.
Yes.
And you're killing it.
Yes, thank you. And sometimes you need to hear that, right? Because especially as black people, right? We've always got to do the most. We always got to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes you feel like, am I doing enough? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? But your days are filled, right? And sometimes I heard this and it just transformed my mind. Some guy said on Instagram, he allowed ChatGPT or AI to basically shed perspective on it changed his mindset. He told ChatGPT, hey, this is what I need to get done today. This is how much time I have to do it. Make a plan. And Chat was like, it's impossible. It's the amount of things you want to do in the time that you're trying to do them, it's impossible. Right? And he said something. He was like, when that happens, when I make these to-do lists and I get to the end of my day and I still have things unchecked, I'm mad at me. I'm not mad at time. I'm not mad at, do you know what I mean? I'm mad at me. And that perspective was so powerful for me because since I got let go of my job, I've been having to redefine productivity.
Wow.
Right? Like, what does that look like? Productivity may look like connecting with a friend, being there for a friend. You know what I mean? Baking, doing a hobby. Productivity doesn't have to be hustle. It can be hustle, but also balance. And that's what I'm learning in this season. Just trying to figure it out. But I do get hard on myself sometimes. So I appreciate the flowers and I receive them.
You getting all the flowers today on this episode.
Thank you.
Listen, and you getting all the flowers on this episode. It's amazing to see, like I said, and shout out to you.
Thank you.
And shout out for just also like agreeing to come on this podcast. You know what I mean? I was telling Jennifer and I was telling you behind the scene or before we went live.
Yeah.
Off cam. I like that. Off cam. I was like, yo, I appreciate you because, it's very rare to see people of like your caliber winning, people who are true to themselves, people who are respectful, people who are kind, people who are not gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And you're doing all this. It's like all of that in one package. Yo, I'm giving you your flowers.
I love it.
Take them. Take them. Yo, listen though.
I need to get a base.
Hey, get multiple. All right, get multiple. Hey, listen though. So we're gonna how do I want to take this, man? Because I got a special guest on here, so I gotta move correctly.
We vibing.
Hey, listen. So look, I have a segment on my podcast, right? And it's basically this or that, right?
Good.
And it kind of just helps, the people get to know who you are as an individual.
Absolutely.
It's not even code related. It could be.
It could be.
But it's just random stuff. You know what I mean? So I'll give you a this or that and give me the first thing that pops up in your mind. Right off the dome.
All right, let's
Hold
go.
up. Do you rap?
No.
Okay.
I
Oh,
wish. Do I give rapper
you
vibes?
do give
Like,
rapper vibes.
I love that. No,
Okay, I was
no.
gonna actually spit a quick
I
16.
wish. I wish. Next time I'll be prepared though. I
I
need
bet.
to have one on a tuck just for
Say
moments
less.
like
Say
this.
less. Say less. All right, let's go. So, would you rather have the ability to pause time or the ability to rewind time?
Pause time. I ain't trying to go back. I overcame too much.
Hey yo!
I can't. But
Hey yo!
pause time. Yeah, for sure.
I love it though. She said, "I'm not trying to go back." Hey, I'm there with you. Okay, I'm there with you. All right, all right. So, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Watermelon.
That's a shocker.
Yeah,
Watermelon.
I don't
Talk to me about
know.
that.
You said first thing come to the brain. I get decision fatigue, so watermelon.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Couple you can live off that. You can be good off that.
It has a lot of water in it, so yeah, you should
Yeah.
be fine. And it's fruit. It's healthy.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like a steak dinner, some
No, I
lobster.
feel like that will get old every day. Like it will get old. And then I don't know. I feel like it's steak every day. I'm gonna
I'm
be
a big
clogged up. You know?
oh, you will get clogged up. That's facts. That's
Yeah.
facts. All right, watermelon it is because you're not gonna get clogged up with watermelon. Eat your
Fact.
watermelons out there.
Okay.
All right, so never use social media ever again, or never watch TV ever again. That's a tough one, by the way.
Ooh, that is a tough one. I gotta go social media.
Never social media again?
Yeah. I
Really?
hate social media.
Oh,
I
wow, really? Okay.
I do hate
Why
social
so?
media
Like, why do you? What makes you? Because you're on
because
social media a lot.
I
You're
am because I have goals, right? And but then when you have goals to be on social media and grow on social media, you have to engage on social media, and that's where
yeah,
they get you. And I don't like that. I realize time slips away, and I'm like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So I love what social media has done for people. Like it has transformed the world in a beautiful way, allowing us to connect and allowing us to make money online.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's also a huge distraction. So
yeah.
as if TV isn't any better, honestly, right? So it don't matter.
Yeah.
A
I mean,
screen is a screen.
no, I get you. So it's amazing to see, or it's interesting. Let me say interesting. It's interesting to see creators who are out there on social media. Like you're out there, you're killing on social media. Like you're influencing people, all this stuff, And the people who are doing all these great things on social media, they tend to not be on social media as much. And this year, well, really, the fourth quarter of last year is when I kind of learned that myself. Because I used to just scroll on social media, just go and go and go. And he said, like, the day would just escape you.
It's like what the heck? Where are
Yeah.
we
And
at?
yeah. And so now, like, I'm like, I don't have time for that. Like,
You're out doing other things. And I think that's where
yeah,
those
yeah,
people don't have time.
yeah, yeah. That's what it is. Because when I
Yeah.
wasn't working, when I wasn't in boot camp, I had all the time in the world to be on social media 24/7. You know what I mean? And I think, like, now, I would just go post my stuff and get out of there.
Yeah.
And I try to at least give back by, liking other people's posts
Yeah,
and
right.
commenting. But like you said, it's hard.
It's hard.
And then,
And I have multiple pages. Like I have a personal page, and then I have an astrology page on TikTok, and
yeah,
then I
yeah.
have my husband and I are starting a podcast that's launching
Hey, I need
on
to see that
February
podcast. Let's go.
14th.
Yeah, let's go.
To the gods. So there's things
Yeah, yeah,
I can't handle another page.
yeah,
That's why the podcast will only be on YouTube and TikTok. I don't have time.
yeah, yeah.
I don't have time.
Social media and
Yeah,
TV.
right. Like it's beauty. It's a blessing and a curse. It's like
It
it's
is.
here to stay. You gotta deal with it. But for me, it's just I just want to make it already. I'm funny. Hello, yo.
No, but wait. You had some kind of deal or something with a
No,
comb
I just went viral a couple
viral?
times.
Okay,
Yeah, I realized I'm a good salesman. That's what I
let's
learned.
go.
That's what I
Hey,
learned.
okay. I
But
love it.
it was dope because it was Tabitha Brown, and I was genuinely just trying to say like I love this, right?
Yeah,
I wasn't even trying to turn it into a commercial,
yeah.
but
But that's who you are, though. I feel like anything you
agree.
touch is gonna
I
blow.
agree. I agree. I
It's gonna
agree.
blow, yo.
But you know was I was just talking to my husband about this. It's difficult sometimes because I feel like my whole life I've been very forward thinking, but like ahead of the game. I've always been a trailblazer, a trendsetter.
Yeah, yeah,
So So it's annoying, right? That sometimes when I'm putting out heat, fire, they not ready. And then a year later, 2 years later, y'all ready, but I'm on to the next. You know what I'm saying? So those types of things as a creative gets
Yeah.
frustrating, but I feel like it's finally aligning,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
time and effort
Yeah.
is finally aligning to
Yeah.
get my results.
Do
And
y'all hear the boss and her talking? You just said you probably didn't catch what you said, and I know y'all didn't catch it. So let me reiterate what she said. You just said you would do something, and they not ready. Most people will be like, "I did this thing. I shot this piece of content. I shot a video, whatever, but it didn't do so well." But you like, nah, y'all wasn't ready. Like
yeah, I just wasn't ready because
y'all
it's,
wasn't
'cause it's
ready.
not me.
Yo,
That's the thing. It's not me, and
that's
I've
crazy.
gotten to a point where I understand that, and it took humbling, right? It took me getting fired to realize that I had the magic. Because one thing I realized, I'm I don't really say I'm cocky. I'm very confident in my abilities, but my
Confident, yeah.
confidence comes from results, right? And if I don't have results yet, I don't know where to stand, right? So in my first role at Southwest, I was excited to be there. It was a great opportunity. But my team was already established. It's also difficult being remote. You know what I mean? Like it's difficult being a remote because people already have teams established, relationships built, and then
Yeah,
you're on the outsider. So it's like information you may miss,
yeah,
or
yeah.
just like foundational things you may not get because you're remote. And so during that time in my role, I realized like, yo, I didn't really know where I stood. You know what I mean? I didn't know if I was good at this. I didn't know if I was ass. I felt ass, right? Because I feel like I'm just doing things, but I have no direction,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And during the last 3 months of me working there, I had to really dig deep in, literally in the morning, because I was so stressed out. Because I kind of felt like I knew that time was coming, right? Because like it just was you could just feel it. So I was like so stressed out, like trying to redeem myself, I guess. And I'm working, and I'm just like, okay, what's true versus what do I feel? Right? Like, what am I ingesting from their perspective of me versus what do I know to be true? And I had to do that every morning before work because I had to really gain my sense of self because again, my confidence comes from results. I don't know if I'm how well I'm doing. I think I'm doing, you know what I mean? So it's like this disconnect. Then I realized, you know what? It ain't me. It can't be me. I'm doing 1,000% and I'm crossing my own boundaries of like my balance. You know, I can't be burnt out. Like when I was a single mom, learning how to code, like that burnout reminds me of that time. I can't go back there. So I'm very cognitive of maintaining that balance.
Yeah.
And so I was sacrificing so much of myself for no reason. Because they will, and I realize I have a problem with wanting to be liked. I stopped caring because it's like, you don't know me. You may be able to code better than me, but you can't speak better than me. You
Yeah.
can't design better than me. You know, I have other skill sets that I had to like remind myself of. And during that time after I got let go, I was like, you know what? No, like the magic is here. The magic is within me. Every single thing I try to accomplish, I get it done. So this was just a part of my story. It is
Yeah.
what it is, right? It's just, it sucks. But then it was also freeing. Cause it's like, wow, now I get to figure out what do I want to do. And having a supportive partner, not saying, oh, when you going back to work? We just bought this house in February. I got let go in May. You know what I mean? And he's just like, what do you vibe? Figure it out. I support you.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's like those things. And now I can confidently say that if the system isn't working, it's not me. It got to be the system. And that's where I stand. And the beauty of confidence is it's personal to every person. And you can't tell me, like you can't take my confidence away. You can't say anything, right? Like my perception is my reality. Your reality is your business. But my reality, I'm the shit and I'm going to remain the shit whether I'm here or not. And I think that's just where I'm at and I'm like moving with that energy and I'm like leaning into that because my confidence has always been off-putting the insecure people, right? But they make it seem like I'm cocky. No, I'm not cocky. I just know exactly who I am. I feel like cocky is when you compare yourself to other people and you're better. I don't see y'all. I don't see y'all, quite frankly. I'm focused on what I gotta do. So even when you're talking, I get honored by that because I'm just doing my thing. Like I'm not trying to be seen.
Yeah.
I know I'm a star. Y'all late.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to do what I have to do, like do the steps, like the daily thing. 'Cause I know what I'm working towards is going to pay off, but I'm just putting in those energetic deposits. You know what I mean? Just making sure that I'm staying intentional on where I'm trying to be. But yeah, people need to believe in themselves. Take a book from Kanye.
We just started this podcast and you done already give me goosebumps, yo.
I'm sorry.
No,
But
don't be
that's
sorry.
what
This is
people
good.
need. That's what people need, right?
This is good. This is good.
Especially for Black Future Month. Not Black History Month. Black Future Month.
I just got that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
History already, we've been there, done that. It's good to look back on it, but we don't have to spend 28 days looking back on the same stuff.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King had a dream. What's your dream? What we doing? You know what I mean? I feel like that's where we need to be focused on is like, where are we going as a people? Like, what are we doing? How are we contributing? What skills do we have to contribute to the collective so we're moving along? So
We might just end this episode here. Because if we keep on going, we giving y'all free gems.
free game. Mm-hmm.
It's not even me. You're giving them free. I'm listening at this point. At this point, listen though. So let's do this. Let me actually the last this or that question,
Facts.
and then let's like legit decode your story, man.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's do that. So this is the last one. Always have to sing everything you say, or have to dance everywhere you go.
Dance, period. I'm doing that anyway.
Let's.
Now, if I could sing, I'm singing like they're lucky I can't sing. This whole conversation would be a song.
Listen, God knew why He didn't give you a voice because they
Okay,
would be
for
sick
real.
of you.
For real. I will never shut up.
No, I love it. Yo, let's do this. I think you have like a really I know you have like a really dope story.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into your story, tell the people who you are, what you like to do for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just give them Tranequa in like a 1 minute
Yeah.
kind of spiel. Then we can like go deeper into you and your life.
Well, I'm a Jersey girl, born and raised. I lived in every region, East Coast, West Coast, down south. I lived down south and I lived in the Midwest. My previous career was in fashion. I have a bachelor's degree in visual communications. I went to fashion school in LA. During my time in LA, I was a fashion stylist. I was an actress, dancer, model. I did a lot of fun, cool stuff. I was so poor though, so poor. So that's the crazy thing. You be poor, but you be having so much fun.
You be having so much fun.
So much fun. I don't know how that works. And I've just always been a creative person. So now I am a wife. I am a mother. I am an entrepreneur. I have so many hyphens. I dance, I act, I model, I build websites, I do logos, I do graphic design, I build applications, I do nails. I don't do nails, but I did my nails because I'm obsessed with nails. Fun fact, I graduated high school with a cosmetology license, so I'm licensed to do hair. I'm just a cool vibe. You know what I mean? I'm an Aquarius. I don't really do too much. Actually, I do a lot. But like in my bubble, right? You know what I mean? Like, I love to travel, and I don't know. I'm just raw. Like I'm from the East Coast, and I'm an Aquarius, so I really have no filter. I'm gonna give it to you all the time. It's always gonna be with kindness and with love, but you gonna know.
Yeah,
you have to guess with me.
No,
but yeah, you can. Moving forward, I don't know what you can expect. I don't know what's next besides greatness.
You can expect greatness.
Yes, besides greatness. I don't know in which. I'm working on so many things. I don't know what's going to pop off first. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but you're just going to be seeing me a lot. So
yeah. No, that's dope. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about tech. Let's talk about your story, your background. First question I want to ask you though is why tech? Like, how did you start? Because you were dancing. you've been doing all this other stuff, right? How
Yeah.
did you get? And I think you kind of mentioned a bit about it, but I want you to go deeper into that story. How did you get into tech?
So, when my son was 6 months old, actually, I went to the library and I found this book called Girl Code, and it was essentially about this girl who took a summer boot camp, coding boot camp, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like, I kind of want to do this. But at the time, I was living in LA. UCLA was their boot camps was 10 bands. I said,
Wow.
okay, that's a dream for another day. Like I was poor. My son was 6 months old. But I never like forgot about it. My brother, fun fact, I have one brother. He's also in tech. He works for Adobe, but he's not an engineer. He's on the administrative side or like the other side. So he started working at LinkedIn, and I was like, he told me they got free lunch. I said, free lunch? Sign me up. Literally, that's all it took. And then I got the opportunity to learn how to code. And at first, when my godfather was like, hey, do you want, this guy is teaching people how to code. Do you want to be a part of it? I was so desperate for a life change. So I was like, yes. And it was like kind of like an answered prayer. It's like, oh my gosh, 4 years ago, I was trying to do this. You know what I mean? Now I have the opportunity. And I didn't know, I wasn't even thinking about getting hired at that point. I just think the biggest thing for me was having the skill. I knew the skill would be important. But once I found out how much money you can make out the gate, I said, oh, no, it's a wrap. This is all I'm doing. Like I was on Insta, I was thinking I was on social media at that time, YouTube, everything, like grinding it out. And I was like, focus.
Let's go.
And cause the most money I've made before working in tech was like 32 grand in a year.
Wow.
So the first starting salaries when I was researching was 85. Okay, yeah. Get me out there. Let's figure this out. Like let's figure that out. So that's how I got introduced to tech. I was just poor.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope. A lot of people that I see that have gotten into tech, I want to say at least like 90% of them, they all started off either poor. I was poor. At one point, my wife and I, this is with kids, y'all.
Yes.
At one point, we made $17,000 in a year.
Man.
Think about that. How do you buy food? How do you buy diapers?
You
And
don't.
We know, legit. And you know diapers are expensive. You know food is expensive, right?
Yes.
And so it started for us from just like, we had to do something. Something had to change. We were driving Uber. We were driving Lyft. I've done every job you can think of. I've done it. I've been a construction worker. I've painted. I've driven buses. You know what I mean? And
Just
so,
trying to get it. Yes.
and so it's like everybody I know who is in the tech field, they've been poor, and it came from a sense of like, I need to make it because I'm down bad,
Yes.
and that's crazy to me.
Yes. And it's like, but it's something like while you're in it though, it's hard. Hard. I called it Teary Tuesdays. I was crying every Tuesday.
Hey,
Like
hold up. You just said Teary Tuesday.
Teary Tuesday.
I'm crying.
It was hard, especially when we learn to react. Like it was hard. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my, so confused. Don't even know how to answer questions. Because when I first started learning, I have 3 rules for myself before learning how to code. And I advise anybody who's learning how to code, these are the 3 rules, especially if you're going to a boot camp. Number 1, find a buddy.
Ooh, that part. Say that
Find
again.
a buddy immediately. Immediately. 2 brains are better than 1. Do your homework together. Christina, shout out to Christina. She worked at Pinterest. She was my buddy. Every day in the trenches, office hours, everything. Boom. Secondly, because tech is so quick, like the bootcamp is so quick, I repeat, do not go to sleep without some foundational understanding of what the hell you did today. Don't do it. Cause tomorrow it's gonna be worse. Don't think you're gonna sleep. No. They don't revisit. They compound on, they build upon. And then third, copy and pasting code is for duds. Type that shit out.
Say that one more time.
Copying and pasting code is for duds. Type that shit out. It's the same. science of like writing, where something computes when you're writing down pen to paper, like you remember something. It's the same thing
Yeah.
when you're typing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then rule number 4 is follow all 3 rules. Like those are my rules. If anyone who comes to me saying, "Hey Nene, hey Tranequa, I want to learn how to code. Can you teach me?" I got the first thing you do, I make them write a why letter. Why you want to do this? Why? Because that shit gonna get hard. It's gonna get hard and you're gonna want to quit. But you're gonna have to refer to something that's gonna ground you or remind you why you're doing it. And I know if people are serious by if they come back to me with that letter or not.
Wow.
Then after that, I tell them these are 3 rules. I'll help you if you need help. Like I've tutored bootcamp students, which is a nice little bag too. So I tutored some bootcamp students, and those are the rules. Like I'll support you throughout the journey, but this is your journey. Yeah. I know the skills. Like you know what I mean. I'm here. I'm 4 years in this thing. So that's how I got successful. That's how I got through the boot camp.
Yeah.
Those 3 rules.
Now let's talk boot camp. Let's just go there because you mentioned boot camp, and that is one of the things me personally I'm excited to talk to you about because we went to the same boot camp.
Yes, had no idea.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
I think you graduated before I did though.
Yeah, like 2 cohorts, like 2 before. I think I graduated in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
I graduated. I think was March. I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
March. It wasn't too long. Maybe like 3,
Yeah.
like 3 months, 2-3 months after you graduated.
Yep.
All right, talk to me about boot camp. Talk to me about how you stumbled across boot camp.
Yeah, my mentor. He was like, I didn't have to do the research. He said, "Here, try this one. You can pay. They have like the pay when you get a job option."
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you? Because when I enrolled in boot camp, I didn't really know much about boot camp, but I was following some techies that most people, and I'll be honest with you, most people had negative things to say about boot camp. So I guess my question to you is, when your mentor said, "Hey, try this boot camp," were you kind of like,
Nope. I would have did whatever that man told me to do because he had the skills. He's 25 years in this thing. He's trying to teach. He's trying to create an online platform so people can learn how to code them damn self. So I really respected what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad though because I am impressionable and I might have second guessed going that route. But I need camaraderie. Like going the self-taught route by myself is. That was before ChatGPT. You know what I mean? Like I need somebody to bounce ideas off of. Like, does this make sense? How to formulate questions. So the bootcamp route was perfect for me. I didn't care. I just needed a job. Like what do I need to do to get to where I gotta get so I can start making income? Like that's really all it was.
Yeah. So what was your experience with boot camp though? Like I know boot camp is hard, but like walk me through. Like I want you to be able to break this down for the people who are watching because a lot of people are thinking about going to boot camp. They're thinking about going the self-taught route, and there's just so much. And obviously, everybody's experience is different,
Right.
But I want to just like delve deep into your experience in boot camp. And one, this will be like a 2 or 3 part question.
Okay.
One, how was your experience in boot camp? 2, do you think that boot camp? Let's chalk over there. How was your experience in boot camp?
The experience with my boot camp was tight. Like I loved it. To me, it really felt good to the ego to say I'm an engineer. Cause to me, an engineer you're intelligent. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like I love being intelligent. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that is just, I love that. So to me, being an engineer is like, oh, bet. Then my kids can be like, my mom an engineer, you know? so those types of things, I was focused.
Yeah.
So one thing about me, I'm very much, you get in, when you get out what you put in. So I put everything in. Like there was one basket, all my eggs. All my eggs, my future eggs, past eggs, all the eggs are going in this basket. Like it has to work. There's no plan B. So I threw myself at that thing. So I was in office hours. And so a typical day in a boot camp, right? For me, it started at 11 a.m.
You taking me back.
11 a.m. and you have your hour. And the thing is, like, if you're not successful, it's because of you. The system works. That's one thing I can say. It works because you have your morning little pre-work, and that's just basically like a preview about what you're going to learn that day. So they might have some readings, they might have an exercise, they might have some code snippets. Read through that. So when when the professor comes in and y'all are in live demonstration, it's not foreign. You kind of have some kind of understanding of what's going on. You may not know everything, but you kind of can, bring questions, whatever. We have like a 2 hour lecture.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we take a break. And then the rest of the day is homework. And then that's when we have office hours and everything like that. But I would spend that time, me and Christina, knocking it down every day. It'll need to be I'm typing, she's sharing her screen, or vice versa. But we're both in there getting it. And that was so beneficial. Oh my gosh. Christina, my girl, like she's so smart. Again, shout out to Christina. Because there are certain things, like when you're learning, you only have your brain. And then also, I need to say this too. You have to learn how to learn with engineering. Like, I think it really reprograms your brain. Like, there's no way that you can be a successful engineer without reprogramming how you think, period. So you're already but you got to hammer it out with a buddy. That's how I got through. Because you're only limited to your own capacity. You expand that with someone else's brain power.
Yeah.
Y'all put that thing together. Oh, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
I think for me, I was learning how to code by myself for a minute, like for a hot minute before I even enrolled in BootCamp. And the reason, and I was so passionate about it. I was so passionate about learning how to code. I wanted that engineer bag. I wanted the 6 figures, all that, right? But for whatever reason, I would stop. I would code for like not 6 months. That was BootCamp. I would code for like a month straight. I think the most I went was like 2 months straight, and I would quit. It got to a point where I started a little group with just my friends and I. It was called Night Owl, because we would study from midnight to like 3. So we were called Night Owl. And they fell off, and I kept on going, but I only went for like a mile. Then I fell back out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you mentioned one thing that I want to reiterate to the people who are listening and watching here is that, there's no difference. Like, the only difference between self-studying, like going the self-taught route, and going to a boot camp is the community, is the cohort that you have.
The
Like
accountability.
you said, you had a friend that y'all were studying together. And
Every-
because I will say that if you go to boot camp, coding boot camp, and you treat it as I'm solo, I don't want to make no friends, it's like, it's just me, myself, and I, you might as well just go ahead and just self-study. And to be honest with you, you might not make it in this field, because once you get a job, Tranequa,
You have to
you're
collaborate.
collaborating. Is a web.
Yes,
It's a
a
thick
huge web.
And you're not just collaborating with developers. You're collaborating with the PMs. You're collaborating with the UX designers. You're collaborating with X, Y, and Z. And so I made a Instagram reel the other day, and I was like, gone are the days where, coders just sit in their grandma's basement and just code in the dark.
Yeah, nah.
It's like, no, you need to have community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you think that coding bootcamp, you're going to go in there and you're just going to just be by yourself, you should probably rethink that.
Yeah. But then not only that, it's like the community is so important. It's accountability. And again, why do you want to be limited? Yeah, it's unfortunately, you won't get far.
Yeah. What is the toughest thing like you had to experience in boot camp? Because I always tell people that going to boot camp brought out the dog in me that I never knew was there. Like, it brought out the hard work in me, the hard worker in me. It brought out the you better not go to bed until you figure this out in me. It brought out the dedication in me. It brought out the like you're sticking with this is about the longevity. You know what I mean? So I always tell people that you went to boot camp, but after boot camp, besides graduating, you gained something. What did you gain in boot camp?
I gained a new perspective. Because again, like your brain changes. Like, I was dreaming in code. I still do.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
I was dreaming in code.
Yeah, I was dreaming in code. So that's what I took from it. And the hardest thing, it was the material. Like the material was tough. It was tough because you're literally, and again, for me, it was high stakes. It was high stakes. So I'm crying, pushing through, like can't even see the screen. I'm so confused. I don't even know what questions to ask.
Wow.
Like props. Like when I first learned about props for React, what? Forget about it.
States, yeah.
Forget about it. My boy was clicking through. I don't know if y'all had dang, what was his name? He used to call me Trey. And I used to be like, why do you call me Trey?
Who's that? A professor?
Yeah,
What's
black guy.
Oh, skinny
Not
dude?
Trey, but
Skinny
like
guy?
yeah, he had a cat.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name?
Oh, I forget.
We had him.
Yes.
I forgot his name though.
He be clicking through the screen quick as a mug. I'm like, yo.
Yeah. Man, our shout out. I think her name was Bree. I believe. Shout out Bree.
Bree. I heard about Bree.
Yeah. Shout out her because she was our first month teacher professor. So I think we learned HTML, CSS, and
HTML,
JavaScript.
yes, and JavaScript.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is, yo, like I said, I was already learning by myself for a hot minute. So HTML and CSS, I was Gucci. Like, I was good. The thing that tricked me up was like media queries, but it wasn't like all new to me. So I could at least follow along, right? JavaScript, I can at least follow along just a little bit, right? But there were some people who had never heard about coding. Like
how? Like you didn't do the pre-course work? Like
I have
how?
or if they did it, they just BS'd it. But listen though, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. If you haven't done the pre-course work, or if you didn't take it serious, if that teacher is on the board teaching, it's gonna go over your head. And
everything.
We had people like crying the first day. The first day of bootcamp for me was a breeze. I was like, yo, if this is the first day, we Gucci. But yo, the first day, people were crying.
Whoa,
People said like, what is a boilerplate? Like, people are crying because it was like you're speaking English, but you're not speaking English.
It is another language for sure.
You know what I mean? And the thing.
Imagine coming so unprepared.
Even if you do come prepared, it's hard. Imagine not coming prepared.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I was gonna say shout out to Bree because our professor because I kind of knew what she was talking about. I didn't really hate her. She was cool.
Yeah, she was cool.
But some people, like if you're speaking a foreign language and I'm trying to understand this thing and you didn't do your homework like that, you're gonna be like, yo, this professor is moving too fast. Already they're moving too fast. They're moving because it's a 6-month boot camp and they're teaching you how to become a software engineer in 6 months. So they have to move fast, right? So that paired with you not doing your homework, you're gonna be like, yo, professor, I'm gonna need you to slow that down.
No, you need to keep
slow
up.
Down. But see, and that's the thing though. And it wasn't until after boot camp. I mean, I always appreciated her, but it wasn't until after boot camp and I got a job and I hit her up. I was like, hey, thank you so much for teaching us the way you taught us. Just because on the job field, like you don't have that much grace. Mm-hmm. Like if you have a 2-week or a 1-month sprint, you have a deadline, that joint better be done. There's no time for
carryover.
I gotta feed my cat. Nah.
The cat can starve.
The cat can starve until you know what I mean? Because if you don't, meet the deadline, you can't get no money to feed your cat. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people were like, yo, they were not ready for boot camp. It was like how do you call it? A rude awakening.
Yeah.
A rude awakening.
Because again, it's like it goes back to why are you doing this? There's not one person, one attitude, one teaching style, one colleague, one that would get me off my game.
Yeah.
I don't care how you're talking to me. Teach me the skills.
Yeah.
Right? Like
because they have the skill,
Yeah, that's really all I care about.
Yeah.
Some people get caught up. Like because I would say I was self-taught 1.5 years before going to the boot camp.
Okay.
And like 6 months of that was when I was with my mentor on his little class, and people would be talking mess, like, yeah, he be talking to us like this. I don't like how he talk to us. Look, are you serious? First of all, this is all men. Are you serious? You're complaining about how he's talking to you? He's teaching you for free a valuable skill, a six-figure skill. Do what you gotta do.
I think like you said, just keeping the main thing, and then two, like people get caught up. If
Yeah.
you have seen poverty, let me look into the camera because you're right here. I'm looking at you, and my camera's here. If you have seen poverty, if you have lived off of $17,000 a year, if you are a man, if you are a husband that is not providing for your family, and your wife is looking at you like, yo, how are we gonna eat? If you are on food stamps like how I was, if you got kids, if you got girls who want dolls, a princess dress, who you want to like legit give the world to, but you can't because of you. Like, and you have somebody teaching you the skill. You have somebody showing you the path to where you said you want to go because you enrolled in boot camp. They didn't come and say, "Hey, Tranequa,
Yeah.
come to."
Fact.
No, you found them, and you said, "Hey, I want to learn the skill." And if they're teaching you, honestly, unless if it's something like immoral or something that's
Right.
hurting you, or if it's something you know what I mean, then don't complain, yo. Like,
It's difficult people, period.
and the thing is, this is the thing. I had some teachers, some professors who were legit just poop heads. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say just like that, but that's human beings. But I knew how to differentiate. Okay, you're a poop
Right.
head, but you have a valuable skill that I need.
Right.
I'm gonna just like whatever your poop head.
Right.
I feel like I'm saying poop a lot.
It's hilarious. No, I'm with it.
your mannerisms and your little shade or your little, you know what I mean? It's not going to deter me from getting what I want.
And
And
if
at the
it
end of the
does,
day,
you don't want it hard enough.
and if it does, you don't want it hard enough. And at the end of the day, yo, like I'm trying to like get my family out of this mess,
Yes.
and it's a mess. So I need to get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
There were some teachers who like they were supposed to come to office hours and they were late, and I'm like, and some people complain like, man, I'm paying for this, and you're not here. It's supposed to start at 11 o'clock. It's 11:10. You're not here, and they left. And
You're
as
not
soon as
being-
they left, teacher came on. Hey, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Let's continue. And guess what? If I were to be like, hey, I'm paying for this, which really you weren't because
Right, not
you
yet.
didn't, not until you got a job, not until you got a job, you know what I mean? But if I was to be like, yo, in coding bootcamp, they say don't work. I was not working.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I know were just full time, they weren't working. So I don't even care if the teacher was a freaking day late. My Zoom will be on.
Yes.
And when that teacher comes on, I'm here.
I'm there. Yeah.
I don't care if you late. Like I'm that's cool.
Yeah.
But once you because I have to control what I can control.
Facts.
And also let's have a sense of love towards people.
Right.
We have no idea what was going on in that professor's household or whatever
Right.
for her or him to be late.
Because again, I started, that was like what, 2020? So that's COVID. That's the thick of COVID. You know what I mean? So like the peak.
So I think people are entitled.
Oh
And
my
it's sad
God.
to say people are entitled. And it's like, yo, if you need help, yo, you gotta humble yourself and be like, yo, I need help. And there will be people along the way that will treat you like trash.
Yeah.
And
part of
you
it.
gotta just roll the punches, yo. And like I said, and I don't want to like throw a blanket over, people who are maybe getting hurt. If your
Right.
professor's hurting you or something off the charts or walls, like we get that, like run away,
Right.
report that, like all that stuff, right?
Be safe.
Be safe. You know what I mean? But if your teacher is moving a bit too fast, if your teacher is 2 minutes late, it's like, I need to change. Like, how bad do you want this, bruh?
And the thing, the fire thing about Bloom Tech is you can take each course once again.
Yeah. There was a lady, shout out, I'm not gonna say lady, this is my sister. There was my sister, hold up, let me think for a second, give me 2 seconds. I don't want to mispronounce her name because her name sounds like another name that I'm thinking of. Oh goodness, she gonna kill me when she watches this episode. I forgot her name. All right, I'm gonna call her Queen of Flex because that was her name. Because okay, let me take y'all back. So in boot camp, there was something called flexing. If you flex, that means you repeat the class over again. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And so for her, even if she understood the sprint, even if she passed that sprint on that Friday, she took the class again. just so that she can actually
Reinforce
like
that knowledge.
understand. And even if she understood it, she would go back and help and teach the other people in
Oh
the
wow.
cohort behind
Look
her
at her.
the material. You know what I mean? And in doing so, she would like solidify her knowledge. And so we call her Queen of Flex. It's like because there are some people who went to boot camp. It was like, hey, this is 6 months. I'm gonna be done in 6 months, and that's
That's
cool.
me.
That's
That
cool.
was me.
That's fine. But here's the thing, though. Shout out to you because you understood it. You know what I mean? But there are some people who in boot camp, they didn't understand it, but they didn't use their flex card. And I'm like, if you're in boot camp and legit, you're telling me that everything we went over that week, whatever, that month, what went over your head, and you have an opportunity to go back and learn, why are you robbing yourself of that opportunity to go back and learn?
Right. For me, besides the urgency, I ain't have time. It was the value in continuing was Christina because I feel like I worked so hard because when I started struggling, maybe like React and Redux kicked my ass. I was like, oh my god.
So hold on. So you were good with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript?
Yeah, because I was for that year and a half when I was self-taught.
Okay.
I was learning JavaScript.
Because JavaScript kicked my butt.
Oh yeah, but
Kicked
I
my
had
butt.
yeah, but I had prior experience in Java, like at least a little foundational knowledge. And I went back over and over and over again on the pre-course work to make sure I understood everything for the most part. But like certain methods for each map, all that, some of that I still needed to tweak. But for the most part, I was pretty cool. But yeah, Christina was the value. Like
Yeah.
I made it this far with me and her, our synergy. I need to continue.
Yeah,
But luckily, I never had to, because for some reason, I feel like I maximized or blew out of proportion the topics we were being taught. I feel like we were on Monday and Tuesday, it's like these big topics. We were thinking like this whole coding, everything is falling on these 2 days. But then you realize on Wednesday, this is a small part of a bigger picture.
Yes.
And then on Thursday, you wrap it all together, and Friday, the test be easy as hell. And it'd be like,
Yes. Hold up. The test was easy for you
yeah,
on
it
Fridays?
was. Okay, it was one test that I had to phone a friend, and I did phone a friend.
Okay.
And I was so annoyed, and it took me so long. I was crying all day because like I can't repeat. I got things to do. Like I'm like freaking out. Like I'm freaking out all day.
Yeah.
And it was just like I forgot it was the on change property. It was supposed to be on press, and I did on change, and I couldn't see it. You know when you're like at the
You kind of get blind.
you get
Can't
blind.
see the
And my friend was like, "Oh, it's right there." I'm like,
bet.
for a login page. Ooh, that's so easy. I was like, I can. But yeah, but the tests were fairly easy. My
Okay.
struggling point was data structures and algorithms. I hate.
I still
To
don't
this
like
day.
them. I still don't like them, yo.
It's so
I know
stressful.
some people who are like, "Oh, I love them." I'm like, "How?
How?
How do you develop a love? Like for you to develop a love for it, that just means that you're just an expert. You know what you're doing.
But like I'm 4 years in, and I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was interviewing for Microsoft, and they wanted me to build some timer with React on on the spot. I was shocked. I did it. I was impressed. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we had a little bit of time. He was like, oh yeah, add a timer, and I wanted to count down. I wanted to display on the screen, and I wanted to use this method. He was so good. He's like, are you familiar with this method? And I was like, no. He was like, all right, this is how you use it. I did that, John. I said, ooh.
Yes, ma'am. Let's go.
You get so intimidated with these companies. You know what I mean? And these interviews are so long. They're
so long, yo.
long.
So long, yo.
So long. Like interviewing is a job.
Applying first is a full-time job.
Full-time job.
Interviewing is like, whew.
Interview prep, man.
Interview prep.
Like you're excited for the interview, but you're also anxious as a mug because you're like, oh my God, what are they going to ask me?
Yo, I got a video of me like sweating. Like legit, like I kid you not.
I almost threw
My,
up. Like I understand the stress.
but see that it's a good thing though because like you wanted that bad.
I wanted to do well,
You wanted
yes,
that
but I
bad.
was so scared. Like, everybody's, because again, the stakes were so high. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
see this interview as an opportunity to grow. I need
Yeah.
to get hired on the spot
Mm.
today, right now. Like, I don't, everything counts at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, shout out to Southwest for hiring me.
Yo, so no, shout out Southwest. So talk to me though. Let's move on from boot camp. I feel like we can talk about boot camp forever. But let's go here. Talk to me about life after boot camp. Talk to me about
Oh
the
my
interview
gosh.
process. You say you interview with Microsoft. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like that the application process and the
Um,
denials and the rejections and all
oh my
that.
God. So, life after boot camp, I had to fill my time. And I filled my time with, I had some personal projects that I was doing. I started freelancing. My mentor slid me some, and that was nice. Some websites. That was nice. And then, but I was also just like networking. I was trying to use all my skills. I was networking because my personality is my key. I feel like once I have a conversation with you, it's a wrap. You're going to interview me, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need to get in front of you. So I was connecting with everybody on LinkedIn, like, you know what I mean, taking coffee chats, reaching out, doing this, doing that. My brother's in tech, so he's working at LinkedIn at the time. Yeah, he working at LinkedIn, and his wife was working at LinkedIn. So I was like interviewing, and because LinkedIn have like this apprenticeship program that they was launching, so I interviewed for that. Was my first interview. I
Wow.
was excited, but that was a little different. They gave me a project to complete, and then for the interview, I had to explain my project, and it was amazing. I did that. I still had a project to this day. Like created a custom background. It was a guessing game.
Okay.
It was a guessing game. Like I had the computer guesses a number and you have to try to get the combination right, and then it'll unlock whatever. But yeah, so that was interesting. So the companies I interviewed for was I interviewed for Microsoft like 3 times, Google, Southwest, LinkedIn, and I want to say like Twitter or one of those.
Okay.
Google completely bombed them, bombed. Like they were like,
Hey, you got to bomb at least an
no,
interview or
you
two.
got
So
to.
that's cool. We'll take it. Shout
But
out
I
Google.
killed all the other ones. The
Yeah,
thing that I
yeah.
loved about I had the day I interviewed for Southwest, I also interviewed for Microsoft. They only had one slot, and I was like, I'm not missing this opportunity because the way God is so good. The way it worked out for Southwest was I kept getting rejected by all these companies, and I'm like, dang, like these big tech companies. Because in my brain, I need 6 figures, I need stock options, I need relocation.
Talk to them.
Like I need all that
Talk
sign
to
on
them.
bonus. Like I
Yeah.
need all that. You know what I mean? And it just wasn't working out that way. And so I was like, you know what? I went on LinkedIn to talk to somebody. I think I was about to have a coffee chat. And then it said in Southwest, a plane rolled up and was like, you want a remote career in technology? And a light bulb went off. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this the wrong way. I'm going after big tech companies. Every brand has a tech department. Why am I so then I started trying to figure out like, okay, I can do fashion because my background was fashion. Let me work for Nike in tech department, or like, you know what I mean? I was going that route. I was like, let me take a non-traditional route. Like, let me leverage, because everyone's saying I'm not getting hired, not because I wasn't qualified or I wasn't smart enough. I didn't have the experience. I can't cheat time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm at a disadvantage here. So I was like, let me use my skills that I already have to leverage my job. So that light bulb went off, and I clicked on the link. The link was so fresh, they didn't have a job description up yet.
Wow.
It said, if you're interested in a career in tech, put your email. Didn't think nothing of it. I checked my email like an hour later, and it's like, oh, they're having this hiring incentive. You can win not win, but you can sign up for a conversation with a recruiter. Oh,
Sign
bet.
me
That's
up.
all I need.
Sign me up.
That's
Yeah.
all I need. And the beautiful thing about it was Microsoft, there was 4 hours. Well, it's like a 5-hour process. You have a 45-minute screening, and then you have 4 1-hour interviews back to back to back. Southwest, theirs was spread out over days. And they said so Monday was the first day that they were dealing with recruiters, or you could talk to recruiters, and then they'll have a decision by Friday. I said, yeah.
Wow.
I said, whoa. So I had a conversation with the recruiter on Monday. She liked me, so she moved me to the conversation with the engineers. Now, this is where the nerves set in, because you never know what they're going to ask you. You don't know what they're going to say. Nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't ask me. No, I didn't have to live code at all.
You didn't have a whiteboard?
No. They asked me questions.
Huh.
And the question that got me hired, I know for a fact, because it was the way he responded. The engineer, it was 2 engineers. 1 hour, by the way. 1 hour call, 2 engineers. He asked me, are you familiar with refactoring? Yeah. What is refactoring? I said refactoring is taking existing code base and changing it to modernize the system. And I said something like that.
Yep.
And he was like, oh yes, like, cause he loved that. He was like, yes. He was just stoked. And like, I was like,
That's simple.
that's all, you know about it. Yeah. He asked me a couple other questions, but that was mainly the one.
Wow.
And then the next day, I got a call saying like I could talk to the hiring manager. And I got
Wrap 'em up.
yeah. Because once I'm over the tech hump, I got this thing.
Yeah.
And so Friday came and I was thirsty as hell. You got a word for me? And I was so eager. Like literally end of day Friday, I was like
I bet.
sending the eyes basically. I sent the email to the recruiter. And then on Wednesday they called me and was like, yeah, we don't have a team for you, but we want to hire you. Yeah.
Shout out Southwest.
And mind you, and you know how draining it. I did not have another interview in me. I did not.
Yeah,
I did not have another rejection in me. I did not have another 5 hours to give to somebody for nothing.
How was I want to know, like, how was the rejections? How did you take them? And
I didn't have time to process it. Let's move on.
really,
You don't want me already bet. Because at a certain, like, again, like I had a goal. I don't care.
So there's no kind of like, man, I'm down to my skills.
No,
or, man,
nah,
like,
because I was having mock interviews with people at Disney, Google, Microsoft. I was networking, and people were confused why I wasn't hired.
okay, so you basically surround yourself with like the top.
And when it wasn't
top.
working, that's what I'm saying. Like that's how I know the system ain't me. It's a system. Because when it wasn't working, I was like, hold on. So I talked to this woman from IBM. I talked to this woman from Adobe, this woman from Disney. Like I was meeting with people and seeing how I can get in. I was leveraging my brother's network. My brother has a huge network. He worked at Facebook, LinkedIn, now he's at Adobe. So, and he knows everybody. So I was leveraging his network. He was living in Silicon Valley at the time and everything. So I was DMing people from his list, trying to have coffee chats. So I wasn't getting no feedback. Like people were confused. So I was like, okay. It's just not my time. That's what it just boiled down to. It was like, it's just not my time.
Yeah.
But when it was my time,
Yeah.
it was my time. Because through Southwest, I got my house, my husband. I got a whole new life. I've been able to, me and my husband been to 6 or 7 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, like we've been able to vibe. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful. My brother got married in Mexico. I was able to go. Have my dad, like pay for my dad to go. You know what I mean? It was shout out to Southwest, like for sure. Because they really gave me a chance when nobody else would. So
yeah. Coming from like not having anything to like being able to travel the world with your family. I saw you, I think, did y'all go to Disney?
in Tokyo.
Was it okay, yeah. I saw that. When I saw that, I was so happy for you, yo.
Yes,
I was like, look at my sis. Because
Yeah.
not a lot of people can afford that trip, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so coming from where you once were to now, and also like be able to pay for your dad, it's a beautiful thing.
It was beautiful. It really was. Like it is. Like, you know what I mean? I'm extremely grateful. So yeah, for sure. Shout out to Southwest. And I'm never bitter, right? Like even though we separated, I'm still extremely grateful for everything that it gave me. Because now I have on my resume that I worked for Southwest for 2 years.
That's all you need. Listen, talk to me about like that Southwest benefits though, because I heard
That's the
I heard them
thing.
flight tickets
The flights so
are
free.
nice.
Free. We went to from Georgia last year for my birthday. We were from Georgia to LA, from LA to Hong Kong, from Hong Kong to Tokyo, and then back. $350. Whole thing. Whole thing. So it's free for us, but we get a discount. We just pay tax on other
Hold up.
airlines.
So you can fly Southwest for free,
Yeah,
but with
me,
other
my
airlines,
husband, our kids, and my parents.
is a discounted price.
Yeah, we just pay tax.
So once you get back, hired with Southwest,
No, I'm going back. We're going to Delta. That's where I'm trying to go.
listen, my point is, whatever airlines you go to, let me know. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
I got my wife, me, my three
Yeah.
daughters, my grandma.
Listen,
Like,
between my husband and I, we literally have 6 kids, and they
wow,
all were on my flight benefits.
that's beautiful, yo.
Yeah. So
That's
yes,
beautiful.
but to go from not having nothing to having all of that, it was like finally. You know what I mean? Like I felt, like you feel destined for a life, or you feel destined to do something or to be something, but your inner world may not match your outer world. So I feel like that was the first time that everything aligned. Like, no, you're not on, like, you are who you think you are, and here's the proof. So that's what it was for me. It was like, yes, finally, because I've been wanting to live this life. I've been working hard. I had so many attempts at this thing, and we finally got it right. So hell yeah. It was
Talk to me about being a strong, like a black woman, like someone who's confident. Talk to me about that life, like a mom. Talk
I
to me about that.
actually hate the strong black woman narrative.
Talk to me about that.
I feel like as a strong black woman, if you see me as a strong black woman, you're going to give me more things more opportunities to show my strength. Whereas I feel like I need more support. I don't need more things to be strong for. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want to stop that. You know what I mean? Because that's
Hold on,
a trauma response.
dig deeper into that.
It's a trauma response. Like I'm strong because I had to be, because circumstances forced me to be, not because I wanted to be. So I don't really wear that as a badge of honor. Like I will call myself resilient, right?
Yeah.
Like I know I'm resilient, but like I hate being strong. So I feel like if you see someone, like let's just say we're in a gym, you see somebody maxing out on their weights, you're gonna be like, put more on. I don't want more. I want you to see me and be like, let me support you. How do I support you? How can I partner with you? Not, don't add more things to my plate. So I feel like the whole strong black woman narrative, like I just hate it, because we had to be strong as a trauma response. But I feel like it's time for us to be soft, and for us to be nurtured, for us to be taken care of, for us not to have to be strong. You know what I mean? For us to be able to relax and create and breathe and rest. I feel like that is I feel like black women need that, because being
Yo, that's beautiful.
strong, I feel like, can lead to chronic stress, and stress killing us.
That's
Silent.
beautiful. You literally just educated me. And I thank you and I embrace that. Because man, this is like going from a podcast me interviewing you to you educating me. But I love it. I
Yeah,
legit love
that's
it because
conversation.
no, I love it because like you're right. The narrative and it's like the badge of honor is I'm a strong black woman. Let's go. And shout out to women, like
Right.
women. Yo, when my side note, and I'll come back to this. When my wife gave birth to our kids, three beautiful girls, my girl dad, shout out to me.
Shout out to you. I love it.
Amazing people. That was then where I was like, I don't care how strong men are, women are stronger. I like you can't. It's not until your loved one, your sister, your whoever gives birth,
Facts.
and you see what they go through,
Yeah.
then you're like, hands down.
Yeah.
My wife has had to like hold down like the financial burden that I don't care what nobody says should be on a man. And I'm not saying that women can't go get your
No,
bag
I
or
agree.
I'm not saying none of that, right? But I agree. I agree. I believe that the financial burden, like go kill something and bring it to the house, it should be more on the husband than the wife, or more on the man than the woman, right? We're
Right.
both married, so let's talk from a married couple's perspective, right?
Right.
And I've seen my wife, like even with me being in boot camp, like not I didn't bring a dime home when I was in boot camp for the 6 7 months when I was in boot camp. My wife was on there who's working, holding everything down, legit, like the kids, finances, everything. And you see that, and you're like, good job, babe. You held it down, great, and good job for her. That's cool. She was able to at least support me because some women would not do that. So my
Right.
wife, we locked in for life. Like
Right. Right.
everything I got, you got that
Right.
purse. All right, you got that, babe. You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But when you think about it, to your point, man, like sis, like she had to be strong. She had to go out there and kill something and bring it
And
home.
then she can't complain about it, right? Because she's not trying to make you feel guilty. You know what I mean? So it's like she just taking it,
Yeah,
right? We just taking it
yeah,
because we love our families and we understand sacrifice and we understand that certain things got to get done and it's just what it is for the moment.
yeah,
But I just feel like Black women need more support,
yeah, yeah.
like because just because they're not asking, it doesn't mean they don't need it. Because I feel like we get used to people coming to us to ask, and we don't. I'm leaning into asking like for help. Like I'm just now getting there.
Yeah.
But I'll reject help out of like just come so used to doing things.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but now I'm like, help, please.
So let me rephrase my question now that I'm educated. And if let me rephrase the question. So as a Black woman, as a mom in tech, do you go through any challenges?
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure.
because I want to, because you're a mother, you're a wife. Talk to me about some of the struggles.
I think the biggest struggle as a woman in tech, a Black woman in tech, is the limited capacity. And this is what I mean. As a man, right? You can go to work and you can spend 2 hours after work studying to refine your skills, to dive deep on something you didn't understand, to get this done, to find this bug. At 5 o'clock, for me as a mom, I gotta clock out. Like I don't have the capacity to spend more time on this thing. And I feel like that, which is like an unfair burden, is like it's kind of hindering. So then to make up for those times where, because scientifically women need more sleep than men. So we're sacrificing on other things to make sure that we get this thing done, right? So like in the corporate world, it's hard, especially because that was my first corporate job. And one thing I'm not going to do is compromise who I am. Me and my husband will go back and forth on this. He's like, I don't think you should have said that. And I'm like, well, I had to, because it's just me defending me. Right? When it comes to performance reviews, or if people are talking about you, especially if you're remote, you have to advocate for yourself. Because someone can say, like, for a perfect example, someone told me I had a group project, and this was like towards the end of my career, so like everything had to be on point. And my partner told my manager that I was being sloppy with the code. And I was like, what? So mind-blowing, because the approach I took is the approach that every single person took. Why would it be for me be deemed as sloppy with the code? So when I addressed it, I had to address it. I can't let you think that. Right? There's a way to do it. Like, I'm not combative, I'm not disrespectful, but there is a way to be direct and say, like, if you were me, you would be here doing the same thing. And we've had these conversations. So I'm from the East Coast, so I'm very honest. I'm not going to hold back. And that's always going to be with kindness, but I had to advocate for myself. And that was a little uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable because, again, I don't know how y'all feel about me.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all think about me. I just know that here I am, a Black woman, expressing, my name is Tranequa, okay? I'm a Black woman expressing my concerns. That off top is aggressive. Even though I'm just being assertive. I'm being a professional. I'm being me. So those types of things, I feel like. And then there is a cultural difference, right? Tech is not a white man dominated industry. I know how to maneuver in those. This is an Indian dominated industry. And there's things that come with that. You know, languages, language barriers or customs, clicks, you know what I mean? Which, again, working remote is hard because I can't penetrate that. I can't even. So those are the things I feel like I struggle with as a Black woman in tech.
Well, one thing I do know is that, like, from your, like, listening to your whole journey, sis, and like just seeing what I know about you, even online, you know, all the positive stuff, like, I know that it's only a matter of time where that company will find you and it's just a perfect match. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I already
And I'm
know
not
that.
tripping on it. Like,
Yeah.
it'll be some days. But for the most part, I'm really confident in the flow of life. Like the way that my life is, I could not have written it in a movie. It's so good.
Yeah.
So I have to continue to trust the path that I'm on, regardless of what it looks like, regardless how hard it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that is the lesson. It's not about a job. It's not about a money. It's not about this. It's about who are you in the midst of those times. How do you feel about yourself when you're not getting the results you want to get? You're not seeing that. Like, how do you feel about yourself? How are you balancing your disappointments with your accomplishments? Like, how are you? I feel like life is so personal. It's so spiritual. You know what I mean? I feel like life is so spiritual, and we look for things so externally. Oh, well, I'm not making money. Let me go and put all my energy into trying to find a job. No, sit your ass in the sun, meditate, yoga. You know what I mean? Drink some water, relax, rest.
Drink some water. That part.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes the answers you need are within. I feel like we look, and I get it. Capitalism. We have to look outward. Like we don't have time. But I feel like that's the key, and that's the thing I feel like that sets me apart. I don't care how talented a person is. I don't care what the accolades are. I don't give a damn. I know that what makes me stand out is my energy, the spiritual work that I do, the energetic deposits that I put in,
Yeah.
the karma. I feel like I am a master at working with energy. And I think that is the key to life. And I feel like if we as people, especially Black people, can tap into our inner magic, like internal, sit with yourself, figure things out. Who are you? What is your relationship like with money? What is the root?
That's a whole nother topic, sis.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like if I can leave anybody on that, go within, figure out who you are, and then the blockages will unfold themselves while you're doing the work. But please do the work. Please do the work. Absolutely.
I'm just like,
This was a great conversation. I really
This is
enjoyed
amazing.
myself.
this is amazing. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
of
you.
course.
Thank
you.
you. And I know the people watching and listening are like, yo, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. No,
Wow.
I'm glad to be here.
Let's wrap this up, man. Like, so
Absolutely.
just go ahead and tell the people where they can follow you, where they can see what
Yes.
you're doing, all
It
that.
depends on what vibe you want. You know what I mean? I am multifaceted, multi-hyphenated. If you just like my vibe, you just want to see how I am in my daily life. I am Nini the architect. And I'm Nini the architect because there's too many things. I'm a master of so much things. So I'm just the architect of it all. Shout out to my husband for that name. And then my husband and I have a podcast called To the Gods, not like TWO, like To the Gods. And that will be dropping February 14th. And it's just, intentional conversations about candid and intentional conversations about how we can move Black people forward. Honestly, it's just a little sneak peek into our daily conversations. I feel like that could elevate your thoughts or plant a seed.
Mic drop. We out.